So obviously she knows all her commands from her prior board and train, but her owner said she'll refuse to get on place, and then if she does get on place, she will actually demand bark the whole time if she stays on place.
Like, meaning there's somebody
Like,
here?
yeah, or anything like where she really needs her to stay on place. She'll literally bark at her, just like she was barking at her at the drop-off.
So like vacuuming might help, because that can justify in her eyes why I want her on there.
Yes.
We can do that.
Yep. Maybe I can dress up as a stranger and come in.
Let's do both of them.
Yeah. But anyway, just no reliability, but lots of knowledge, and no state of mind training on the place bed. So she'll get on and be like on edge the whole time.
Yeah. Okay. I totally understand. We know why dogs are on edge on place, because they want to get off. Right? So if the dog, we call it trapping anxiety. We know that you can trap anxiety into commands, especially, any command, but you can see it in place, and you can see it in the walk a lot, or stay commands. And that is a dog who didn't get to explore all the options that it had in its mind, gets corrected for just getting off the bed, maybe, or just sitting up even. So the dog doesn't get to explore everything. So therefore, they won't get off the bed because they know it equals a correction, but they didn't try everything on their mind. Now what we find, and stay with me here, but what we find is if we let the dog try everything, meaning if the dog's going to step off, I will turn pressure on, but I'm not going to just guide it right back to the bed without allowing it to explore, because it's going to think like, wait, if you didn't grab that leash and bring me back, those might work. You right? So allowing the dog to try everything and then coming to its own conclusion. That was her okay, so she demand barks. That was demand barking.
Mm-hmm.
De-escalated, what is the word I used to use for it? Downgrading. You downgrade the
Licking
behavior.
now.
Went from barking, you can go to whimpering and whining, you can go to licking of the lips, and now she's just trying to say, hey, Josh, it's like my toddler, right? When I'm trying to talk and they're like tugging on you, and you have to teach them when you're talking to somebody. When I'm talking to an adult, don't do that to me. So I'm teaching her that. Good. But then, flip side, when I see this girl doing good and I look down, don't forget to let her know, good girl. Don't forget, right? When they're first going through this. Good. Yeah. After they explore all the options in the style that we train it, we do tell them to go on the bed, and they do understand that they have to go on the bed to turn off the pressure, but we don't make them go on the bed, meaning we don't physically put them on the bed with a leash. So they are able to try. In this room, we know that they're going to do this. Sometimes we'll have a door open or cracked, but they can go try a room that ends up being nothing. And they can go try this door, and they can go try the stairs, and they can go try running around here and doing all this. They can try it all, and then when they're ready, they get on the bed, the pressure goes away, and we say, awesome job. And then we do it again. We also put it in context, meaning I'm not just doing it in a training session. I'm trying to make the training session feel like it has real life context. Somebody's at the door, we're vacuuming, stuff like this. To make it obvious, if the dog were to guess the right answer, they can get it right, because the context helps. Okay? So, good Carol. This is probably her first time really doing this with me, where she's pestered me a little bit. Like, by licking on me. You see, she was circling, getting impatient. Instead of barking, I never corrected her for barking at me. She hasn't done that. She's assuming, but she's downgrading it, and I'm saying, no, just don't do that at all. Go into the calm, submissive state. So that I want submission right now, meaning you're being passive to the situation, and you're just waiting for me to finish it, and then I'll tell you what to do next. And there's that magic spot they can go into, and she definitely knows how to enter that now. We need to use it now. We need to proof it and use it in the real world more, which we will be doing. But now she understands how to use it. She looks phenomenal, and I feel like I can bring her places and start to teach her how to do it out in the real world. Good. Now, we're doing place. Let's set up a situation where she might not want to get on. Great. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. That was amazing. Yes, you. She whine a lot too, or just bark? Mainly?
No,
Probably a little bit of everything.
She does everything.
Yeah. If they're on the bark, they're on the whine. I'll use this big vacuum. Look at this thing, Ellie. Big, scary vacuum. It's a good girl. You are a little nervous of it. I can see
She
that.
also is nervous of the broom. When I sweep the
okay.
kennel room, she's always like in her kennel trying to dodge it.
We'll do this one, but I think the one that we really need to do is where she wants to go up to the thing in the environment, meaning people, dogs, and stuff like that. There's two different ways to proof a command, as we said. One is to proof it with things in the environment where the dog is tempted to go up on, and then the other one is to train them around things in the environment that make them want to run away from the situation, so that we're nice and balanced when we go out to the real world. Because there's going to be temptations in the environment where they want to leave us, and there's going to be definitely be things that spook them where they want to leave us, right? So we start proofing in that regard so that we're ready for the real world. And our dogs have coping skills, so it doesn't matter what spooks them, they know what to do. It doesn't matter what the temptation, they know what to do. Here we go. Another really important thing that we do, I should say, is we do a lot of silent e-collar work. So if she were to get off that bed while I'm vacuuming, because I already know she knows the command, that e-collar pressure is going to turn on without me looking like I'm doing anything. And I am watching her, but I'm not watching her, you know what I mean? I'm not making it obvious. So the reason why this works is because she's getting the consequence, she has to solve the problem, she already knows, she's advanced enough to know how to get back on the bed with a correction. But what it does for us is it allows her to do with the silent e-collar correction is she's not getting the reinforcer of me interacting with her. A lot of dogs really enjoy attention. It's a super valuable reward for them. So while a lot of times when you're punishing a dog, they get some reward out of it. And some people are probably aware of this, they've probably seen it, because you're dropping what you're doing and you're interacting with them. It's a lot like a toddler, right? Any attention is good attention, even if it's bad attention. So we see that a dog, in my early days, some dogs, especially a dog like her, would be willing to take a correction because it meant you had an interaction. Cool thing about the silent e-collar stuff is once the dog's ready for it, is they're getting their consequence. They already know how to solve the problem. You're just manipulating how intense the collar is. And you don't have to do anything, and they're not getting a reinforcer. So that makes it more clear, and it's not going to have a rewarding factor in it. If it has a rewarding factor in it, the dog's going to gamble. I'm bored, so I guess I'm willing to come off and take this correction as long as I get a little interaction. That's off the table. Now the dog realizes the interactions are off the table, but the punishment's still there. It's like the dog gives up. They're like, okay. But when we see the dog give up, we say, good. That's the trick. As soon as I see the dog being like, I'm content to stay here because the punishment doesn't equal attention, then we come over and give that attention. Good. And we're saying, you get it when you're in that mind. You won't get it always, but I'll come over and drop some on you, some affection stuff when you're in that mind. Okay, so we're clearly doing state of mind training with our state command, which makes sense because if a dog is wound up but on the bed and has anxiety trapped into its commands because it was never able to try all the choices that it wanted to try, it's going to be disturbing the environment. And you're going to have to be micromanaging that thing to the point where it's useless. Because you can't even do anything else in the experience besides manage the dog. As soon as you try to deal with the person or something in the environment, the dog's gone because it takes 100% of your effort. It shouldn't be like that, man. It should be easy, even with difficult dogs. Okay? Good. Good girl. She's scared of it.
She even does that from inside of her kennel. She'll try to dodge me sweeping.
Yeah, so movement. So that's a good thing for me to take on right now while we're at this, so I don't forget. I let her make the mistake. Okay? I taught her that double down when she feels those emotions, when in the down, not to flee and do this and that'll keep her safe. That's what I'm building as a belief system, by the way. So if she's not going to be safe, don't put her there. You know what I mean? You're trying to tell her where I put you is safe. And I'm proving that to her, okay? So, she knows double down, right? I come over here, it's scary because it gets out of her vision. She picks her head up. I turn the pressure on. She doesn't know what to do. She panics. She starts to recall. I correct for that. I put her back in the down, and then I teach her to go back to the double down, and I say, good girl, give her some affection. Here's what happened though. Here's why she made that mistake. When I went past her and she went up and the pressure turned down, she looked at me for guidance, and I wasn't there. Intentionally. It's time for her to get off from the training wheels. I'm trying to think what they're called. Trying to get off the training wheels so she can learn to cope on her own. She looks at me to say what to do. I'm doing this. Just like I said, silent e-color with context. She makes the wrong choice. She learned that it was the wrong choice. I corrected her, put her back in the double down. I did it again. She didn't lift her head up from the double down. But now what I'm trying to search for as a trainer is what happens when she makes a mistake and she feels that pressure. She looks at me and I'm not there to tell her what to do. What does she do? As soon as she doubles down, I'm going to drop what I'm doing and say, good, that's what you need to do. And I'm going to proof that in all sorts of different situations so that when my dog is told to go into a down state, if they are spooked by something, they go into a double down, within reason, okay? Because here's the thing, is little noises are going to happen, especially in a city. And if every time you get spooked, you go to flee, your brain goes to flee, we're in trouble, okay? You're much better to stay where your owner told you to stay. Now, as the owner, Don't put her somewhere where she can't stay. All right? Don't tell your dog to stay and she's gonna have to move for her safety. Don't do that. All right? You're gonna break trust and the dog's just gonna stop operating with you and stop listening to you and do their own thing. So if you're using a down, make sure it's appropriate and there's not people coming and going in a way where they have to move you. They're gonna run into your dog. Good. That she made the right choice by keeping her chin down. So now we've got the belief system that all the other options don't work. This works. I just have to trust my hammer on my arm and stay. And when I feel an emotion that something's going to harm me, if they put me in a down, just stay. Very good. Amazing. Ruby. Good. Stay. Let's see if she can diminish her wishful thinking here. What does she do when she feels spin? She's in a down. She just heard me say stay. Good. Now, I didn't give her anything there as far as my body's saying. I'm walking in a circle. This isn't something that she can really read as a command. So good. So she learned doing all the other things doesn't work. Staying with my chin down works. When I make an error and I start to have my gaze up, when I feel stim, I know that it means to put my head back down. Now we have the trifecta. Now we have a dog who can self-regulate, and if they get corrected, they know what to do when they get corrected. And a dog who's not anxious because they were trained in a way where they're allowed to try it all. Meaning I'm not holding her here, okay? All right, when they try it and it doesn't work, it's no longer a valuable choice for them. After a few times, they don't think about it anymore. Therefore, there's no anxiety, okay? Down. Good. Ruby, break.
Oh my god.
Deal, Ruby.
That was amazing.
Oh my god. Riggy. Ready. She did. Oh, good girl.